land is your land, and this land is my land. From the California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. As I
started to think about the way that Occupy would appear to my nephew. And it occurred to me that an interesting way to think about this project is like a sort of inverse kind of photography. We start with the compressed JPEG, you guys are the shutters, and then what we come up with are three-dimensional sculptures. I started doing these myself, and then I started working with one of my best students, and then I started to organize public workshops. And what's great about the public is that there's different kinds of knowledge and skill or non-skill that I don't have that you guys have, right? So there are a number of signs in this archive that are really hard to make. Some actually require a lot of painterly skill. Some require being able to make nice shaky letters, and that might be because you're either shaky with your hands or you're really good at mimicking someone else's shakiness. Ask yourself, what kind of like crumb of history do I want to give one other more chance to survive?
So I chose not to trace the letters because I feel I do better freehand. And it was almost like empowering doing it because I love the graphic that was all over here and just like how it like morphed into Occupy. And because it was like a belief I really like strongly stood by, it was like just a great experience just to be able to like bring this back to life and duplicate it.
I've always been very interested in the Occupy movement. I've participated in several of them, and this was a sign I'd never seen before and a concept that I'd never considered. We're always changing who's in charge, and we don't really care who it is. We just view them as the other. We view them as the 1%, when in reality the 1% is always changing. People are always gaining and losing their fortunes, and it's not something that you can categorize that easily, and I like that concept a lot.
So when I first saw the sign, Blackboards Not Bullets, which is the one I made on Jason Lazarus's Flickr, I connected with it really quickly because it kind of sums up all of my political beliefs, because I'm a really big pacifist, but I also really believe in education. Beyond that, it was also really difficult making the letters look really genuine, and not that I had done it, but that it was in somebody else's style.
Because I don't have the same handwriting as the man did, so it was challenging. Like, I do my E's like this, but he does it like this, so it was more of like trying to think that I was him and I had the same reasons as him to write the sign, so.
You know, your typical teenager, if there was such a thing, might be called oftentimes ironic. Their minds are actually very open and very quick. Teens are selecting and taking things from one pool of images to another all the time. So a project that's sort of about reversing the flow of an image, what it is to make a sculpture from a JPEG that's online, I feel like there's a sort of aptitude and intelligence that teens have. It's really fun and instrumental to the interaction.
It was awesome. I'm so glad that I could do this and talk with the artist of the exhibit that we're going to have to be giving tours on, and getting to like learn more about the process and kind of being able to say, hey, I can do that, and I did do that, and it was awesome.
This part of the process is sort of unpredictable. Like, I can set sort of guidelines or ideas of what I think will happen, but I'm always sort of floored by the ideas and the thoughts of the participants. So I'm oftentimes, like, in a very healthy way, humbled by all the people who step into the project momentarily and work with it.
This land was made for you and me.